Hey, 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 it says I am live. Okay, let me have a quick check just to see everything is working a-okay. You can hear me, you can see me. No problems this time. Just one moment. Let's go. I've got my little phone over here to give it a check. Okay, it is live. Excellent. So let's see if anyone comes on. Hey, everybody. I know I wasn't here last week, but we're here for the recap. We're here for the end of month live stream. This was it's usually the last Sunday of every month, but last Sunday of this month felt like it was so far from the end, and this year has been like you blink and you miss so much that happens. And so I thought I'd do it today, which is more nearer the end, just finished yesterday. So we made it through October. If it's your first time here, hi, hello. My name's Chigo, otherwise known as Nigerian XJW Speaks. As the name suggests, I am a former Jehovah's Witness from Nigeria, currently living in the UK, and just documenting life. I started out sharing some of the things, the realizations, discoveries since leaving the religion, what that journey was like, some of the emotions that I've been through that. I've talked about some of the doctrine that, rubbed me up the wrong way, some downright awful, like I thought. And so that's sort of what you see here. And at this point, I feel like I am moved on in so many ways. And so the focus is less on what they're doing and just on showing that life after the religion is possible, where they're not having such a hold over your life anymore, and you can just live, right? And just be and just enjoy being yourself and all of that. So let's see. Banners. No, let me not mess about. I'll leave it that way. So I see someone is here live. When you come on, say hi, say hello. Let me know you're here. So live stream, what's been going on in October? I've got some notes. For things. It's just what to start with. So starting with the personal. Hey, John. It's good to have you here too. Sorry. Sometimes like that break is good. I don't know if it was a break. It was just a week of trying to get stuff together, figure out what was happening, and probably a bit more disruption coming up. But yes, it's good to see you. I hope you've been well. I hope you're keeping well. Do you know what? I might as well start with you guys then. So you've got your election finally. It's coming up on Tuesday, isn't it? So I'm sure you'll all be glad for that to be done and over, because it feels like it's all everyone's talking about. And let's see what we have. Sometimes the uncertainty is it's not great. A lot has happened, of course, between the last live and now within this month. New Supreme Court justice, which I'm not going to get into that. I'm sure there'll be people for and against, but it's clearly not just been a nice, easy subject, just sort of gone about where people don't have opinions, and it's been very divisive. So I'm sure you'll all be glad for that to be over. I want to see what happens. I am just as curious, what's going to happen and what's that going to mean for everybody. So it's on Tuesday, not long to go. Here in the UK, we can go on to that next. So just yesterday, we had the announcement that we're going back into a national sort of lockdown. So maybe for around a month or so, they've been doing sort of local things. So depending on the rates in each area, that area goes into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So there's been regional like that. But then just yesterday, they've just announced it's going to be back to the national thing like we had back in March. And so as always, people are very split. It's been I didn't know it could be such a divisive issue. You have people saying that they've locked down too late. Because the schools are staying open this time, there are people saying you need to shut down the schools, because looking at the graphs that were shown, the numbers seem to spike when schools reopened in September. And then you have people on the other camp who are going, this is all a ploy to usher in some new world order, will not comply and protest and riots. So it's really interesting watching people respond to things and watching the reactions. As someone who has a little bit of a science background, studying pharmacology and having a sense of viruses and how they work, it's really interesting seeing people say it doesn't exist or it's all made up. On the other hand, the reaction to it, I mean, the measures that are being put in place to try and manage it, I wish there was a way to do that without impacting, livelihoods and some of the knock-on effect of the lockdown. So people that end up being isolated, and really the mental health toll of this sort of lockdowns. And so it's really difficult. It's difficult to know what is the right thing to do. I want to say I can almost see both sides, but maybe not quite every side. But yeah, it's certainly interesting. I did not share a link today. I just realized I didn't put a link. I know no one's called in yet, but I still want to make sure that option is there. Let's see. If I say invite a guest, no, that's not what I want. I want to be able to, there we go. There's the link. I'll copy the link, ready for when it's time, if I want people to come in, call in if they want to. So that is what's happening. It's going to go into effect. They think on Thursday, there'll be a vote in Parliament the day before. I mean, what else can they say? I would be surprised if it doesn't go through. I feel like it's a done deal. At times like this, I can't help but feel grateful that I worked from home as normal, and I actually happened to be part of the key work. So I actually, if I can say this, have projects that are related to COVID testing as well. So in that sense, that concern about being out of work isn't there, but I do realize it is a difficult time. Yes, John, that's kind of what we've had to do, right? Just roll with it and try and keep your sanity in the middle of it all. But sadly, not everyone is being able to do that. And I have to stop myself reading cases of people that have decided to, right, they've had enough, through the whole thing. And that's been really sad. But yeah, that's what we have here. Seeing as we're going down the geography route, all the places I have connections to before I get to some JW stuff. In Nigeria, I think it was in one of my recent videos, sort of saying the atrocity that happened there a few weeks ago now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, people protesting a unit of the police department that had become quite a nuisance, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, and people who were sitting down singing the anthem. The government or police at the moment, they're blaming each other. No one's taking responsibility for who actually gave the orders, but essentially lights were turned off, cameras were switched off, and open fire onto the crowd, and taking the bodies afterwards. So it's all really dark, but some progress, something potentially good happening. So panels have been set up to investigate what happened. Like I said, the government is blaming the army is blaming the government, the state government is blaming the federal government, and vice versa. So it's all such a mess, but information is coming out. There will have to be justice. The unit itself has been quote unquote disbanded. I think I mentioned that in the last video as well, but a new team is now in its place, and it needs to be more of a change. So on that panel, there are some people on there that, the people on the ground have some confidence in them that they're not going to be bought, that they're actually going to be there to ask the hard questions, get the answers that need to be had. I think money has been set aside, and I know it doesn't bring people back, it doesn't make up for anything, but money has been set aside to the families of some of the people that were lost. But it's going to be a long slog. John, that is a good question. Just this morning, actually, because it's never ending. So how do I put this? Am I glad to be gone? So here's the thing, and it's been a journey. It's been in and out. Right from being quite young, I wanted to get away, and that might be a lot to do with the witness faith, really. The suffocation. So I'd wanted to be away as far as possible. When I was, let's see, how old was I? Maybe 16, 17, trying to get into uni. I am from the South, right? I was applying for universities as far north as you could go, which that I wasn't allowed to do that. But it's that sense of wanting to get away. It didn't really necessarily matter where, but I think I wanted to get away from the place that it was. So in a sense, yes, at the time, I was glad to leave. That was the space to actually breathe and have some independent thought without the pressure. I think I might have said in a previous video, I doubt that I can actually live the religion the way that I have if I was still there, because it's a completely different kind of pressure. It's, my hat's off to anybody who is there with their whole family who manages to make it out. It is hard. It's almost to a point where you can't conceive it as an option. But anyway, so yeah, that's that. Although, 12 years later, I have had thoughts about what it would be like to go back, but maintaining the sort of distance that's needed. For my family, I have actually been in touch with them in the last month with this stuff that has been happening, and it is happening right where they are as well. In fact, just this morning, like I was going to say, there were reports of shootings where they were at, and so it's very concerning. It's very concerning. I'm trying not to think about it too much because, John, you're gonna make me emotional. Religion aside and whatever, the fact that while I've been here, I have lost both my mom's parents and my grandparents, that I thought I was going to see at some point, but that's not going to happen now. And so the thought of losing any more family like that, whether or not, there's a relationship, whether or not, things are not the way they're supposed to be, it would be hard. So it is closer to them than I would like it to be. So it's just keep an eye on it. It's not clear who is actually doing this shooting and when it's going to stop. It's just one more thing that's happening in this year that seems to have everything going on for it. That was a long-winded answer to that question, but that is what's happening. And yeah, I hope that this is the start of change. Unfortunately, throughout history, sometimes when things need to change from the ground up, it's hardly ever nice and peaceful. So yeah, it's yes, it is. Yes, it's good, even if it's just for the welfare check, even if it's not the relationship I dream about. And having said that, it's just the odd people. My mom is still, I've talked about her. I've not actually spoken to her still. So it's my dad, like I've said, completely different perspective from my mom. I haven't spoken to her. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some JW stuff, just a few. I don't want to make this too long because as always, I've managed to not have dinner yet. These lives, they fall funny. Okay, so I mean, just sort of linking into that, something that's been on my mind is one of the conversations I had with my dad was, with all this stuff that's happening, and he goes, "Well, this is nothing to do with us. We can't get involved, we can't take part." And I just think that is one of the things, isn't it, that comes with being a witness. You're not allowed to be involved in being part of the change, being part of the social reform that you want to see. So I have been, being able to talk about this, being able to be vocal, being able to bring awareness to what's happening, they can't do that. And I don't know if there's going to be split opinions on this, whether that's going to be a good thing or not. Okay, yes, if you're not going out there protesting, there's less chance of you being shot. But don't you want to be part of the change? And it's that thing of saying that they're not part of this world and being detached from all of it. But you live here. This is part of it. The society, the way things are, is as a result of what has been happening so far. And just being in a group that makes you not be involved in seeing that better, sitting on the outside and looking in, it's such a shame. It's such a shame because they're holding out and thinking of this time that there's no real way of knowing that it's going to come, but you're just detached from what's happening. And it's sort of been the same for they can show love. Exactly how though? I mean, if the love is going door to door and preaching to them, which is half truth to start with, because they're not telling people the full picture until they're weighing, and then they hammer it on them is this is your only choice, or otherwise you are deserving of death. I'm not sure how loving that is, without this sort of control and everything that comes later on. I wouldn't class that. Yes, I know that they help their members. I know that when something happens to one of their own, they do rally round, which is nice. But I don't think you need to be part of a group like that to do that. That should be, normal human a desire to help, to not see someone else hurt, to not see someone else suffer. And if you need a group or some being on threat of something to do that, I don't know if that's the best way. So yeah, that just sort of got me thinking how you have, I think there's over 200,000 or so witnesses in Nigeria, and you have all of those people that are not going to be involved in the change that is so much needed. And just that sort of engagement and participation. Yeah, it's just something to think about. What else for JW stuff? All right. John, got it now. Got it now. Got your hat all softened there, John. Okay. In a similar vein, but slightly with a twist there. So I was, seeing what I could find to prepare for this. And apparently just this Monday, in South Korea, witnesses who refuse to take part in military service, they now have an option, they now have an alternative. They can do admin work for 3 years instead of 2 years of military service, and they no longer have to be in prison for that. And I thought, how nice that concession has been made. So anybody who was in prison for that, they've been let go of, so they can do this. And I'm thinking, here's Satan's system, making adjustments to work for you. I mean, how are we going to spin this? Is it Jehovah's hand or is it Satan's system? But that was just interesting as someone from a place where we have a service like that in Nigeria, but it's not military service. But it's just, I mean, good for them. Good for them. I mean, I'm on the side of freedom to believe whatever you want to believe, and don't necessarily think people should be in prison for that. So it is a step in the right direction for South Korea, and good for them. But it'd be interesting to hear how they spin this. I don't know if this was on the website. I didn't actually see it, but yeah, that's something that's happening. Okay, what else? The other JW stuff that I want to talk about. Oh, hi, Karen. Karen's here. Someone sent me a video this week. It's a video from a channel called Watchtower Examination. I've seen a few of his videos before, but if you watch me, you know that I'm not keeping on top of things so much. So someone sent me that. And so many emotions that came off that. And I just wanted to share a little bit of that. If I can figure out this screen share live, and then I can come back and look at some of these comments. So let me see if I can share this screen and hopefully have the sound working the way it should, and everything's going to be great. Let me know if you can hear this. Right, just a moment. Where is it? Okay, this is it. I don't know if you can hear it.
My name is Lily, and I sort of have this problem. There's a boy named Sean that recently moved to our school. I know I'm not supposed to like anyone who's not a witness. The trouble was, he is a witness. Sean and his family moved into our congregation.
Let me pause that just one moment. Let me pause that just one moment. So for me, you know, the first thing that stood out to me was when she says that she sort of has this problem. And the problem being that she likes somebody. And I was thinking about the language that is used, and the guilt tripping and making you feel guilty and wrong for everything is a huge tool that the governing body has. And when you use language like, I have a problem, you know, you are thinking, oh, yes, indeed. You are thinking, the thing is, I didn't give as much notice for this one. So I imagine a lot of people are going to be catching up and I need to get into routine a little bit more. But yeah, when you use language like, I have this problem, and you know, you needed help. And if you go through the rest of it, let me see if I can take it forward. The way it was handled, I mean, we're talking about someone who apparently is a witness. So we're not even talking about some worldly person here. We're talking about a fellow witness, and she has this problem. And the problem being that she likes someone, something that is normal human reaction, human feelings, and she's made to feel like this is the problem, or at least that is what's being sold. So you got the mom watching her. If you go forward a bit, you have the dad watching her as well. So it's a lot of watching. And then when the dad notices, she's made to feel like, oh gosh, that she's doing something bad. She has a problem. So is this sort of loaded language? Let me skip past. I'm trying to get to where they started to try and fix this problem. So she ends up having this, going out to a cafe with her mom to chat about it. She has a whole Bible studies, you know, related to this. And it's so familiar. It's so familiar because I remember being sat down to have these sort of conversations because you spoke to someone too long. Um, because as you know, we had like a corner shop and people would come round, and the guilt that you're made to feel for things that, looking back, it's just normal. The part that I missed beforehand, all they were gonna do was the kids in school, spend some time together. Yes, I'm not saying, go crazy, go engaging in things that you're not emotionally, mentally ready for, but to be made to feel that you have a problem because you like someone, it's just, it was all too familiar. It was all too familiar. I'm not going to play the rest of it. It's a fairly recent video that Watch Our Examination put out. So, go see his stuff. I think he's one of the few people that has not been a witness before. So he's just coming in completely fresh eyes. Lucky him. Doesn't have the baggage and everything, and the flashbacks that some of us have sometimes thinking about it. But yes, that was the problem, John. Yes, she liked someone. So yeah, guilt tripping. I'm gonna make it a series of things you don't miss, or things I am grateful that my son is not gonna grow up with, due to being in this religion. And one more reason why going back is it's just not an option. It's not healthy to feel like that about normal emotions and feelings. So if I to wrap up, before I put the link, let me put the link on here in case anybody wants to come chit chat. So as you know, we are moving. It's in about 2 weeks now, which is crazy. It's in about 2 weeks. So I've tried to make some space to not show my boxes. So I've been going around, washing curtains, changing light bulbs, the ones that have blown out. Yeah, just to freshen things up and booking the van and the people that are going to clean the place, and before and after we're moving, sort of thing. So it's all happening. It's yeah, looking forward to it. I think the only concern is being able to get a school for my son fairly quickly, so he's not out of school for too long. But if it does come to that, we'll find a way around it. But I definitely feel like it is a good thing, certainly for a lot of peace of mind and just a bit more space to run around and do what we need to do. So that was everything I had today. Let me look through some of these comments. I have put the link in there. If you want to chat about any of the stuff that I've talked about, we can do that. Otherwise, it'd be a short one. I can go finally get some food. So I think, John, I have answered your question there. Don't be consumed with worry. Yes, I know. I have... I've got the art of distracting myself down, which may be a good thing, maybe not. I don't know. Just keeping busy, but it does build up over time sometimes, and yeah, sometimes it just needs to sit down, have a chat with yourself, and and lay out, okay, what is a genuine worry, what isn't, what can I do about it? If there's nothing I can do about it, then that's all it is. If there's something that I can do something about it and just try and keep it moving. But no, thank you. It's easier said than done, right? Especially when you're reading that shots are being fired close to where they are. Yeah, it's not ideal. Thank you so much. And I get the feeling you are too, Jan. I get the feeling that you are. What have you been up to, by the way? I haven't had a chance to see what you've been up to. Keeping track of hours is not showing love. No, it isn't. And again, I'll refer to a scripture that my dad used to talk about all the time, which makes me think that he genuinely has fears about that. It's the book in Ezekiel where it says that if you speak to someone wicked and they do not change, they will die for their sins. Their blood's not going to be asked from your hand. But if you don't tell them, they'll die for their sins, but the blood is going to be asked from your hand. And so that sort of fear of we have to go out, which reminds me, something else I saw was that they've really intensified the online thing now. So they're going to be doing online magazines. They're going to intensify that because, of course, they're tracking hours. The governing body wants to know how many hours they're putting in. And so I've heard so many cases of people making up the numbers to make it look right. It's all such a mess. Not healthy at all. Karen, I don't think I've had you live before. Welcome. Where are you, Karen? I want to know. It absolutely is conditional. Yeah. There's the sort of things you can say, the sort of things that you can't say. I think you've got it spot on. My guess is either you were one before. Yeah, serious brainwashing that starts from quite young. In a lot of ways, quite unhealthy. I think I have quite a lot of videos on that. And even, if you're being told who to love and how to show it, your love is for people who are in there. Everyone else, if you think they're destined for death, there's only so far you can go. And you're told clearly that you can't be friends with these people. I mean, I was told that. So you have that separation, you have that divide, and then you pretend to care about them by trying to go save their life. It's all such a mess. So you are spot on there. Oh, well, John, tell me. So the times are just as tumultuous. I don't know. It's great to have the benefit of a longer length of time. I think for me, 30, is this year, maybe I've not been paying attention as much, but I'm looking now. I'm listening now, and it all looks messy. But it's good to hear. Oh, is it good? I mean, to know that we have gotten through things like this before, and we will get through it again. So that's good. Indeed, it is nice to have company. Yes, I saw you put this on when I was showing that clip. Yeah, problem is you like someone. So that was the link, but that's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm looking forward to being settled, and I might be able to show you around. I don't know if that's the sort of thing you do. So this is where we are now. At the moment, I've got a very compact space, so things are going to be a bit more spaced out. I have a separate office room, work area that can just be for everything work related, including this, so that when we leave that room, we know that we're resting. We know that we're resting. We are not going to be thinking about work. So I'm looking forward to that. Kira, really? They're gonna be streamed. All right, they're planning ahead then. Okay, good for them. Good for them. It'll be interesting. I don't know when they put out the numbers. It'll be interesting to see what the impact of this year would have been, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that have said it or thought it. What will be the impact of the fact that people have not been able to be in a room week in, week out, hearing stuff, surrounded by people? It's a totally different experience from being away in a Zoom, in a room somewhere, just watching. There's a bit more of a separation. And for some people, that might just be enough to wake up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, already the numbers were on the decline around Europe. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I want people waking up from this thing. It's not nice. Staying in forever is like keeping a basket over your life. Yes. So you mean staying in the religion, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I genuinely think there are a lot of good people in there that are stuck with this thing. It's complicated. Karen, thank you so much. Thank you. It's so good to hear that because you never know, especially early days when you're starting out and trying to figure out what's going to be the most value, what's going to be the most help, because that's the point, right? Well, at least it is for me anyway. What's going to be the most helpful, what's going to be the most valuable. And there were not many people like me who had left, especially from a place like Nigeria, which granted I don't live there right now, that I've actually walked away and just trying to get by. So I hope it's valuable and it's really nice to hear that. So thank you. And I think you put the same thing twice. Yeah, it's good for them, even better for the people who make their way out and, start thinking for themselves and, yeah, go live a life. There is so much more to life than a group of people led by 8 men in New York who the evidence doesn't really support them really caring for you that much, or them having the authority to manage people's lives the way they do. Okay. I am going to leave it there, I think. I think the shorter the lives, the easier it is to catch up on. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for all of you that were here. Go have a fantastic November, wherever you're at, as much as we can. I feel like this year's just run past us like that. So let's just ride it out. I'll see you on the next live stream. Hopefully some videos between now and then, just how things are, anything in the JW world that I want to talk about. I might have to look at some stuff and come to you with that. But have a great rest of the week. The week is starting and the month. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.